Hello everyone, welcome. In our last lesson, we learned how to conjugate the verb haben, which means to have. Haben is a very special and important verb in German for two reasons. One, it's an irregular verb, which basically means that you have to memorize the forms. It does follow a pattern, but it has some significant changes in the different forms. So the bottom line is you have to memorize the forms, and native speakers memorize just through practice. Number two, it's a special verb because it is a transitive verb, and transitive just means that the verb can't stand by itself. In other words, I can't just say I have to give you more information. I have to tell you what it is that I have. All that transitive really means is that the verb haben transmits some of the workload to another element in the sentence. It doesn't want to do all the work by itself. That's all that transitive means. Transmit the workload. We are going to briefly explore all of these aspects of haben so you can be a much more successful and accurate speaker of German. So the first thing is be sure that you absolutely have memorized the forms. We learned these in the last lesson. Be sure that you know I have, ich habe, you have, du hast, he has, hat, she has, sie hat, you have, Sie haben, we have, wir haben, you have, ihr habt, you have, sie haben, and they have, sie haben. Once you've memorized these forms, then you're ready to continue. So if I say I have, ich habe, I know that I can't put a period there. Haben does not stand alone. You have to tell me what it is that you have or what it is that someone else has. If I say in German, ich habe, I have to tell you what it is that I have. So that thing, that noun, is what we call in grammar the direct object. The direct object with the verb haben is simply the thing that you have. It's often defined as the thing or the object that directly receives the action of the verb. So in other words, just what it is that you have is the direct object. So there's something very important that happens to nouns when they are direct objects. We have special forms for those nouns. And all of those forms together are what we call the accusative case. Take a look at these examples here. We have der Kuli, which is the pen, die Uhr, which is a watch or a clock, das Foto, which is a photograph or a picture, and then there's a plural example here, die Fotos. When you learn nouns in German as a student, you always learn nouns in what is called the nominative case. Nominative is the form of the noun that you learn from the dictionary or a vocabulary list if you're using a textbook. So there happens to be other forms for all of those nouns when they are direct objects, and these are the other forms. So the direct object is always in what we call the accusative case. So here's the nice thing about the difference between the nominative case and the accusative case. There's only one difference, and the only difference is in nouns that are masculine. Der becomes den, and that's it. For feminine nouns, die remains die. For neuter nouns, das remains das. And for plural nouns, die remains die. So if you're looking at a chart like this, you might be thinking, oh God, I have to memorize all these forms. And I would say, no, just know, all you have to know is that for masculine nouns, der becomes den. So if I want to say, I have the pen, I wouldn't say, ich habe der Kuli. You might be tempted to say that because it would be logical if you didn't know about the case system. But now that you know about the case system, when you use the verb haben, what it is you have has to be in the accusative case. So now you can correctly say, ich habe den Kuli. Ich habe den Kuli. For other nouns, it doesn't matter. It's the same. If I want to say I have the clock or the watch, I would say, ich habe die Uhr. I have the photo, ich habe das Foto. For plural, I have the photos, ich habe die Fotos. Because feminine, neuter, and plural are all the same. It's just the masculine. So hopefully that makes sense to you. It really just is a matter of, in this situation, in this case, use this and not this. So in other words, in the case of, if you say ich habe, For nouns, instead of using this, use this. Let's practice a little more just to cement your understanding of this concept. So, I have more examples here. Der Bleistift, the pencil. Der Computer, the computer. Der Kuli, which you already know. Der Kalender, the calendar. Der Rucksack, the backpack. Der Tisch, the table. Der Apfel, the apple. Der Käse, the cheese. Each noun on the top is in the nominative case. In other words, when it's the subject, use this form. Each noun on the bottom is in the accusative case. So, in other words, when it's the object or the thing that you have, then use that form. So, now we can easily practice. If I want to say, I have the pencil, I wouldn't say, ich habe der Bleistift. I would say, ich habe den Bleistift. I have the computer. Ich habe den Computer. I have the pen. Ich habe den Kuli. I have the calendar. Ich habe den Kalender. I have the backpack. Ich habe den Rucksack. I have the table. Ich habe den Tisch. I have the apple. Ich habe den Apfel. I have the cheese. Ich habe den Käse. And that's it for this lesson. Thanks so much for watching. I hope now that you understand what a direct object is and what the accusative case is in German. It's very important because there are other cases, and we'll learn those other cases in future lessons. I appreciate you watching. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you'd give it a like. And to go on to the next lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. Bis bald.